Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be performing surgery. Surgery on my Batman cowl that I got from the Batman Damned suit that I showed off the unboxing for. So, if you remember me in that video mentioning that this cowl is really nice, but it's a little big, we're going to be fixing that. We're going to modify it a little bit. One of the things I think I talked about in that video as well was the fact that most cowls for Noel/Damned that makers normally do are 2 to 3 pieces. It's sometimes the shoulder and emblem, and then the neck and cowl. Sometimes it's cowl, neck, shoulder emblem, the shoulders. So 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it's just 1, 2. Today we're gonna be messing with it. We're gonna be trimming off this shoulders from the rest of it. Because as you guys know, if you've been watching the channel for a while, or if you've gone back and seen the older videos, if you're new here, I'm not a big fan of one-piece cowls. They're normally way too tight and hard to get on and off. This one is loose, so that is not an issue with this one, but because it's loose, it does need to be fixed, and that's what we're going to do. So, we're going to start off just by taking this part off, and luckily for us, there is this lovely little crease all the way around that is perfect to just follow around and take off. So then this will be separate from this, and we could just have this on the suit at all times, and then have this sitting somewhere else. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to try this. We're going to trim the middle. We're going to trim the excess off of right here. So we're going to put it on after this is taken off. We're going to put this on, see how big it is, what we got to pinch in, how much we got to pinch in to have it fit properly on us. And then we're going to trim that amount out and then reseal it with some Velcro. So this will become a one piece that we just put on and then Velcro closed at the neck/chin. So either that or we're going to take a bit of cloth or something and kind of re-weld it together and then have it be one big one piece. If we really need to, if all that doesn't work, we can do it with Velcro on the neck and the chin bit, and then cut it along the cowl and the neck into separate pieces. Because again, just like with this piece, there is a nice little crevice, nice little crease for us to follow all the way around to, as you see right there with the top crease, to let us be able to do that easily without messing it up or making it all wobbly and everything. So that's what we're gonna do. So let's just move into that. Alright, so we've already started. I've already gone ahead and gotten a little incision right here, as you can see. So we're just going to be following this crease all the way around until this is 2 separate pieces. So here we go. You want to take your time with this. Make sure you don't rush, as you might mess it up. Also be very careful, as the blade is going to be very sharp. It has to be very sharp to cut through the urethane properly, just to get clean cuts and everything. The nice thing though is that this cowl, unlike other cowls, is relatively thin. This part is a little thicker, but the crease that we're going to is still thin like the top cowl. So it does make it a little bit easier. But yeah, you want to take your time. You want to try not to get jagged lines from doing the sawing motion. What I'm doing here is I'm holding the bottom down with my hand, the palm of my hand, not the palm, the side of my hand here, while pulling this taut so that we can get a nice tension there so that it's easier to cut through. You just take your time and go all the way around. Once you've got a good enough incision, if you really want to, you can take scissors and cut with the scissors, putting the scissors in here and trimming away. The scissors are more likely to be jagged around the edges. It's not going to be as clean. So that's the only issue with scissors. That's why I'm taking my time with this to do this right. But from this point on, I'm probably just going to fast forward it because there's no point in me just talking over this for 2 minutes. So here we go. Alright everybody, so there you go, we got this part separated, and honestly it looks really good separated as well. And now it can be used for other suits if we wanted it to. So, going off of this, we have now just this as its own piece. This just pops right over our head, sits on our shoulders. There you go. So now we have more movement instead of having to do the whole shoulder turn thing. That's the other thing I was worried about, and that's the other thing that this fixes. And then, like I said, this is really easy to just take on and off because it's big. And it seals that gap relatively well. Something I might do with it is add like a black layer of cloth. Because as you see, it's really loose. So what I might do is add a black layer of cloth to it on the edges to tuck under here, and maybe button down a little bit. It'd be two-way stretch cloth, button down to the underside so that I can still turn without it showing any of this. But, though when it's attached to the suit, it won't really matter actually. So, you know, maybe I won't do that. I'll decide that after we do the whole suit review in next week's video. But right now, yeah, you can see it's really loose. So it's kind of tilting sideways and everything like that. But when I hold it still and pull it back, so some padding in the back here because it's very loose back there. Some padding in the back. But yeah, it definitely needs a little bit trimmed if we want it to be tight. When it's tight, like this, it does look great. So, thankfully, because it's so loose, it's not hard to take off either. We'll put this back on the suit real fast. So, I need to find my measuring tape so that we can see what needs to be done to this. But this does look really good. Looks nice and armored to a degree, but at the same time, it just looks like realistic. Yeah. Started this on without the thing on. Hold on. Now it is urethane, so even though it's loose right now, it still likes to tug and pull on all my hair. Slide this out the way. Slide this out the way so I can just get a little closer. It might be that we take a bit off the back actually, but I'm not sure. Gonna have to think about how this needs to be done now that I'm wearing it. Yeah, okay, so when it's all pulled back like this, it's fine. Maybe some padding will just work. I don't think so though. I feel like I'm gonna have to trim it up a little bit because the cheeks are still a little loose. My jaw, my chin definitely sticks out from it. But I think that's fine. It's hard to see from my angle, but I think that's fine. That my chin sticks out. That makes this part a little easier. Yeah, I could probably I'll just take a little bit out right here. Yeah, about from there to there. Take that out, you know, as straight as we can. Seal it back together. That should work. God, I need a haircut. But yeah, so let me find my measurer and we will figure this out. Alright, so I did decide to go ahead and cut the neck piece off of this just to make it easier to line everything up. And if I had thought beforehand that I was going to go ahead and cut the neck piece off as well, I would have just left the neck piece attached to the shoulders and then just had this separate. But I didn't think it through enough. It's still fine. It still looks fine from what I can see of it. It still looks fine either way. But yeah, now we just have the actual cowl piece, which I didn't show cutting it away from the neck because it's the exact same way that I cut the rest of it away from the shoulders. I just followed the crease that it had, and I did it, let me see, line this up. Did it pretty well. It's pretty smooth. And yeah, I really love this cowl. It's still loose as all hell because, of course, it's just toss it on. Super loose. So what I'm gonna do, because it's supposed to sit at my chin right there, unlike the other cowl where it was like back here, it's supposed to sit up against my chin like that. I'm gonna cut this bit off right here. Having this bit cut off really helps it be nice and flat against my face. Right now it's very loose, but when I pinch it in like this, have it lined up, this all comes together. Still a tiny bit loose, like I can put my fingers in back here, put my hands in, but that's just because this is a thin cowl. It's not because it's like super loose anymore. So yeah, I need to cut this amount off, and that looks good. I'm just trying to make sure everything's lined up. So what I'm going to do is trim this bit off and add Velcro, and I will show you that process. So let's get into that. Alright, so to start things off, we're going to take some 100 grit sandpaper. Now that you've got the bit that I need cut out, take the 100 grit sandpaper, pull off a little strip, because we don't need a lot, we just need a little pinch of it. We're going to take the cowl, and we're just going to sand down the inside of the jaw to get it all roughed up. I've already gotten it a little roughed up, but we're just going to get it roughed up so that way that the glue has a place to stick and hold. Otherwise, the glue won't do anything against the smooth urethane. As you can see, it's starting to peel off and everything. It doesn't take much, especially when it's as thin of a cowl as this one. This side's a little more smooth. So we're just going to sit here and rub into it a little bit, really rough it up a little bit. Again, just to make sure that it has enough for the glue to hold on to and stick to, for the Velcro and everything to latch onto and not come off super easily. So there you go. Once you've got everything sanded down, you're going to take your Velcro. This one does have a sticky back, and you're just going to press it in as firmly as you can to where the where you need it to go. As you can see, the part that didn't get sanded as much, if at all, is really just peeling up, but once you get to where it was sanded, it really just holds on tight. That's why it's so important to sand it with the really rough grit sandpaper. But for the rest of it, we can peel it up and go back in with the sandpaper, really rough up the rest of it, just so it has enough to hold on to. Again, it doesn't take much when it's a thin cowl like this. Really press it firm. And if it still doesn't want to do it, what you're going to want to do is just take some Loctite. As always, some nice Loctite super glue. This stuff sticks to anything and everything, including itself. But yeah, you're going to go in and just give it a quick dab right there where it needs to be, and then press it down firmly again and let it sit for a couple seconds before you start, adding the Velcro and everything and trying to peel it back off. But give it a couple seconds and it will be on there firm and tight. It should not go anywhere as long as you're careful with it. So for the other side, it's pretty much the same thing, but what you're going to do is take the hooked bit and press it in so you know how far you want it to go, and then take the side, and you're going to have it upside down this time, not the sticky back pressed in if you've got the sticky back version, but the actual hooked bit itself, or the cloth bit, depending on which side you're doing second, pressed into the inside of the chin strap. It might be better to do it with the cloth one, because the cloth bit might hold the glue better and everything, but you do it just like this, hold it in again nice and firm. Keep the covering on the stickiness so that it doesn't touch you or anything as you're wearing it, and everything should be good. It should be nice and comfy as it goes, and that's pretty much all there is to it. If you want to ensure that it stays down a little more, you can take some E6000 and just kind of cover the sides of the Velcro and the cowl, just to help it hold firm a little more. Once that all sets, it's pretty much done. Alright, so we got all the Velcro tabs in. They're all dried up. This isn't sticky anymore, so I can put this on. So now we just pop it on, like so. Like you normally would. Then you take this, tap it together. And there you go. And there you go. It's perfectly fine. I can see. My eyes are a little high, but I can see. If I want to, I can readjust how it sits my face real fast. Then repinch it closed. There you go. Just like that. Looks fine. Perfectly fine. Little profile view. A little on the back. There you go. I can always add a balaclava to go underneath to help keep everything black and everything. What I've been using is the neck piece. Not the neck piece. The the neck piece. For my hood that I reviewed a couple videos ago, I'll throw a link up there. You can take that piece off, and I've been just sliding it over as the balaclava bit that covers all the exposed skin between the cowl, the neck, and everything like that on my other suits, and that's what I'll probably continue to use because it's nice and easy, and it works real well. But yeah, here's the final cowl. I now have full range of my head. If I throw everything on, I'll still have full range of my head, so let me actually do that real fast. That works. So, yeah, I might go back and re-weld this. If I do that, I will do a video on that. I'm not going to do it right now because I haven't decided if I want to do it like that. Again, sorry for the facial hair. I'm not going to do the black eyes and everything. I'm just doing this for the video of showing how the cowl gets fixed and everything. But that's pretty much it. If you enjoyed this video, I will see you guys at the next time. If you like this stuff, you want to see more of it, click that notification bell down below, and remember to subscribe and comment, because that helps the algorithm and it helps me out. So until then, I'm Batman.